Hey, Tracy Lewis from Stuff and Things. I have a sad paper pumpkin tale. This paper pumpkin is the June A Little Smile. I had successfully gone in and changed my address to wherever we were camping for the months of April and May. When we arrived in our home area on May 30th, we immediately jumped into a rental rehab project, and I totally forgot to get the address changed by the 10th to the new address. So this package went to Bend. I saw it on its way to Bend and immediately called the post office there, got instructions on how to do what's called a change of address. In theory, it should work wonderfully. It costs $1.05. You do it online, and it takes 7 days to process, so you need to make sure whenever you do a change of address, if you happen to make a mistake like I did, you need to be there long enough for that 7-day change of address to take place, or to be enacted. I received the change of address welcome letter with no problem, but the people at the Bend post office must have misaddressed this item, which is the only package that I had sent there in May. So it wasn't like I had a bunch of mail coming. It was just this one paper pumpkin package. So I watched it go back and forth between Bend up into Seattle to the Seattle hub, back down to Bend. So I knew something was wrong. And next thing you know, over the 4th of July, I didn't get any updates. And then on the Monday after the 4th, it was back in Utah. So I called the demonstrator support line, told them what was going on. They could see that it was being returned to them, and they shipped this fresh new package out to me immediately. And unfortunately, it just happened to arrive the 2 days after I had carpal tunnel surgery. So now we're post day 6, we're in July, or on the 17th, so this is a month late now. And I'm finally getting to it. My surgery was just 6 days ago, so I'm probably not going to be fast, but I figured, hey, I'll do the unboxing, I'll do the create, and if the alternatives take me more than a day to get done because my wrist isn't up to snuff, that's all right. So let's get this package open. And already my package shipped and probably will be here. My paper pumpkin for July has shipped, so it will be coming, and I will hopefully be able to get that done right away as well. So this particular month, I try not to look at any of the posts about it so that it's a bit of a surprise, but I had seen this packet. I know that the cards are small size, so I will be focusing on creating large A2 size alternatives. Let's see, we've got a thank you, and then it has more on there that's small, I can't read it. My day is better because of you. You are amazing. I just can't read those. You made my day special. Just a little smile. Coral, sand dollar, and a starfish. So our color is Coastal Cabana. Very beachy. Yep, that is a very small pouch, isn't it? I was thinking, knowing that the pouch would not be A2 size, that I could probably find a use for it storing something fun like an embellishment or something. Yeah, see my wrist, I can already tell. It's just not very agile right now. Nimble is not one of the things that it is. Alright, so we've got vellum, die cuts, the little pouch. These are very tiny cards. I see 2 styles of envelopes. more than 2 styles of cards. It's like 4. I love the wood grain labels. Got palm trees, fronds, palm fronds, plain labels. Ooh, and really pretty iridescent die cuts. And a bunch of adhesives and no dimensionals this time. Alright, so I will probably not even make, these are just such small cards that I'm probably not going to bother with the creates. I will move right on to focusing on the alternative options. And as I get more nimble with my wrist, I will get them published and get this posted. Stay tuned. Alright, I am back. I have got a bunch of different things to share. I am definitely not up to full speed with my right wrist. I started by creating a few simple stamping beginner type just ink and paper because I was curious what kinds of things could be made with the stamps that we were given. So we'll start with these. I chose to do single color, but you could just as easily add Calypso Coral, for instance, or Crumb Cake, which is one of the coordinating colors. Old Olive would work as well. So I just made up a few really quick designs that somebody could use this stamp set to just quickly make somebody a card. And that's just to get the juices flowing. I then started cutting materials apart, recruited my husband. Little did he know that he could distress edges and do die cuts for me, and he was very gracious and helped, which I appreciate, so I could get this done faster. So then I went into my standard mode of creating components that you can mix and match. And here's an example of a roughed up card. There are 4 different card fronts. A total of 16 cards can be made, and you get the 16 envelopes. So I wanted to talk about the extensibility of, say, these envelopes. They have either the Coastal Cabana or the Old Olive with the wood grain on the side. So for the wood grain part, I took out a die cut from one of the sets, which I'll show you in a minute, which sets I thought coordinate really well with this particular paper pumpkin. And I was able to do a couple of different die cuts with the envelopes because there's a lot of envelopes, so they're very small, and I thought it would be best to come up with good uses for the materials on them. Here's an example. This one is pretty far removed. It's from the original design. This is a component that I put together using the Sailing Home set die cut, and then this is the banner, which is not floating around right in front of me at the moment, but I will find it. So I was able to use the die cuts so you could easily cut out any of your materials for extending the kit from the envelopes very easily. So that was good. The other interesting use was of this piece, which I thought, because it is such a regular square shape, I will show you how I've used it as another component layer. I have not used the backs of these. Now remember, we have the little bit of a different in the whites from the kit. This is an example. the Whisper White is creamy, and the kit whites tend to be whiter white. So another option is for you to do any of your white die cutting with the insides of the cards, which you're going to end up with lots of them. When you cut off all the 16 fronts, you'll have 16 of these whites. So I wanted to say that these would be very good to be made into labels, or the sand dollars here, which I'll show you what that's from. So before I go too far, I want to show you the coordinating sets that I own in particular. Sea of Textures, Sailing Home, and Waterfront are the three that I used. From Waterfront, I used the splatter and brought out the friend sentiment, though I didn't end up using it for the samples today, but I will be making up more. I have a whole bunch of the labels here that I will be stamping up. Sailing Home has die cuts that are very good that I used, and I'll show you those. I made the compass, made the anchor, had the birds out to stamp on one of the backgrounds that I'll show you. And the Sea of Textures has, I used the small sand dollar, the small coral, and inside the sand dollar I had a couple of the starfish large size in my scraps that I keep. This netting I think would be great. These two stamps would be perfect, the two corals. They're distressed and would coordinate nicely. If Seaside Notions is a set that I don't have yet that also would coordinate really well. So now getting into the more advanced cards, I have a variety of backgrounds that these can actually move around onto various ones. This is Mossy Meadow that's been embossed with a subtle embossing folder, and I showed you this piece that I had made. And so I'm going to put together, this is the compass that includes the stamp and then the die cut, and it actually has the west, east, north, south. So this is facing north, and this can go right here, and I see this as a design something like that. This hasn't been trimmed down yet, so this is full 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it could be trimmed down with some layers behind it. It could be Mossy Meadow with white for the card base. The stamp colors that I brought out the Old Olive, Soft Suede, which is a little darker than Crumb Cake, and I'll show you. In fact, this compass was stamped with Soft Suede. Oh, and I found the little piece that I was looking for. So from Sailing Home, I used the sea kelp, and I used this particular label for a stamp, and with the congrats. I figure with this kit, this is one of those kits that you could get 30 plus cards out of if you make all of them A2 size and you provide your additional different bits and pieces of whatever other sets you own. So that was the first one. I then stamped a background with the sand dollar, coral, and starfish, and this is the scene that I already put it all together. I added the coral with the vellum, with the calypso coral, colored coral behind, the large starfish, which is from the large sand dollar, that's part of the Sea of Textures die set. This could be trimmed down a little bit, and then the seagulls from either Sailing Home or High Tide. You could use the before. I had already attached this, but I brought the stamp set out to show you that you could stamp the seagulls behind before you applied the palm tree, and I really like that. I think that's a very nice design. I have a basket weave embossed folder, which is kind of beachy theme. This is like a masculine card, staying away from the pretty blingy elements, using both the anchor and the helm wheel. Using the netting, I had cut that out. This is kind of a color on color with a little bit of the green. I would probably add 2 green sprigs, or perhaps the kelp. Here's the kelp that could be added as a layer behind, and it uses the wood texture background on one of the 4 cards. It could also be done with the wood texture on the back of these envelopes. You could do that as well. And just mix and match all of your pieces till you like it, layering it up. This one's showing mostly die cuts. Best Wishes is from Botanical Bliss, which is a really nice, I was looking for stamp sets that had the stamp size that fits this particular label, and every one of these fits. Friend even fits. It's a tiny bit too big. The bottom of Friend would drop off. But other than that, I loved the Happy Birthday, especially for you, and Best Wishes. I am, of course, short birthday and congratulations type cards, so I actually stamped up a bunch of those in the different colors here on the labels to show you how well they work. So this is my masculine example. I then, for fun, did like a collage without a base on Coastal Cabana using a piece of white netting. This is a gold foil, so any of the foils, I have a couple of foil examples, really dress up a card. And then I think if you stamped the seagulls with Coastal Cabana, maybe over here, it would just look like a really nice card. And I actually really like their coral circle. I have examples where you get 8 of them, and I cut it into pieces, and I'll show you how if you cut it up and use it just piece by piece, then you can stretch that even further. I do have the rounded component. So here's I showed you the distressed edges, and then I used the dots from the waterfront set. So if I take a plain, oh wait, I have a really cute background that is, it's the text background embossed, and I will look for that, hiding somewhere here, I'm sure. I will dig it up and come right back to show you some examples on it. Okay, so here is the embossed folder that has words. And here is, oh, I did it vertical. Okay. I added some edging. I did the sponging around the edges, and I added some dots. And here's some bling. And you could just do a really nice, simple card. You could do a bunch of these, actually. And I think I added just a border on this one for fun. I would do probably with this border, you could do the twine that comes with the kit. You could do the subtle, horizontal, subtle embossing folder to dress it up and keep it more on the clean and simple side of things. On any of these, I could see taking the palm tree. You get two palm tree. One is the palm tree that's the beach, that includes the beach, and then you have, and you don't really need it on that, then you have the palm tree here without the beach, and this right there is a cute card that you could just add some twine. I then took a silver, actually I think it's platinum. It's a little slight pink tint to it. And I added some twine. And that would make a very cute card with the half moon. So I think altogether, just by sitting here and playing with my different mix of components that I had cut, I have like 6 different cards that can mix and match. This one, I thought, if I go back to the vertical, I thought this really looks nice just like that on a white base. I love the handwritten embossing folder that is new this year, so that's that one. And that is all that I have for the moment, and I think I'm going to go ahead and get this published. Some other pieces that I had not done anything with, there was this knot that I really liked, and it could just be an element added pretty much anywhere. I think of it as a masculine thing, so it would, if in place of the glitter, you could use the knot. Oh, and I wanted to show the congrats, which is the sailing home label that makes a really nice sentiment, because you get a lot of the die cut labels, but eventually you will run out, and so that this is a nice one to add to the pool as you're cutting all of your pieces. And the other sentiment set that I think would be good, I noticed was a good fit, that gives a good variety, is Itty Bitty Wishes. Or sorry, Itty Bitty Greetings. This Best Wishes from All of Us and Hey Friend, fabulous at any age, all fit very nicely. The ones that are one-liner are a little bit on the small side, but any of the two-line sentiments with gratitude fit very nicely on the label size that comes with the kit. And another one that has a really nice size is Free as a Bird. In fact, this hello is from Free as a Bird, and I liked edging doing the triple wrap with the thread. Even the World Needs More of You will fit. Thank you will fit. Thanks for being you fits. The other two, you would just have to custom cut your own label to go. And that pretty much sums up my alternatives. I can't wait to feel well enough to actually put all of these pieces together and make a bunch of cards. My card supply is very low right now, and I just made and sent a bunch out. So I'm going to work on birthday, thanks, any of the congrats or for you, best wishes, and sympathy are the ones that I'm going to focus on, and I think that this set lends itself to all of those particular types of cards, and I hope this will inspire you to get this kit out and just start creating. Thanks for watching.